And we're back. The Cosmic Quadringle. Cass, Mare, Joey, Sean. Mare Bear on Spotify. MareBare on Spotify and all platforms where you hear music. We're recording new songs. They're awesome. And
it's like bear.
At joey.lips with two P's
Yeah.
on Instagram. Joey's a comedian. If you're new to this whole thing, but
yeah, I'm just chill.
You just want to do that because we always just do it at the end, and I'm like, why don't we say at the beginning, like, listen to Mare Bear's music.
Mare Bear, it's like a bear, like an animal, and also bear, like you're bearing your soul.
She spelt it like bearing her soul.
Yeah. Baronate.
That was interesting. To baronate your soul.
Yeah. But we started this trip by starting to record a song, and I can see how this could become like a lifelong obsession.
Yeah.
Especially once you know how to do the production a little bit.
Yeah.
That was so fucking satisfying.
Yeah.
God damn.
We made some music last night too. That was nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys were in the pocket.
Deep drum circle.
Yeah, we were going deep.
Yeah, this is a trip report podcast. Yeah. We haven't had one in a while because we haven't tripped in that long.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing.
It's good to take a little break though, like reset the nerves and everything.
Yeah.
And then,
the last time we took Molly last night, and the last time we had done it was in August. So we basically missed one of our, like we usually do it like every 3 or 4 months. We just basically missed one of those. So I think we were all craving it.
Yeah.
And we're down here in Georgia, this beautiful house, your grandmother Mary's house, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But she was here with us in spirit.
Yeah, got to view the house with more party fun vibes.
Yeah.
More love.
My window kept like knocking last night, like the shade kept hitting it. I'm like, there's Grandma Mary.
Yeah.
Mary's with us.
Mary's with me.
Oh my God, awesome.
I feel fucking great today.
Yeah,
I think
really
that's pretty much always the case after you take MDMA. I guess I've had rough next days, but
we did that new thing where you took it very seriously and got all the supplements, because we usually supplement pretty well, but like magnesium and all this stuff, but you got all, and I think they helped. I also think it helps that we just take it so easy. Like we just we have the night, like we're not gonna go out and fucking run a marathon and shit. We're just gonna hang out and drink water. You know. That's
a big one. I guess that's the biggest one.
We're like really responsible adults now, is what I'm finding. Like, we should be a free for all, and now it's like, okay, did we all take our vitamin E oil?
Yeah.
Right now it's time for some grapefruit juice.
Yeah, oh yeah, the grapefruit juice.
Look, even if it's placebo, I do feel like it worked because like at least one of us feeling like, hey, I got us all, like no one's gonna crash from this. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Even if it's placebo, I think it helps.
Yeah.
To have some tether to like, oh, we got to take care of ourselves a little.
Yeah. I need to take a magnesium.
Yeah. And it just doesn't take very much at all to change the alchemical equation. Like a little bit of magnesium can make a huge difference.
I think that was probably the biggest game changer.
Yeah. Our diets are so deficient in so many things. I mean, I think the lion's mane has really helped my memory too.
Yeah.
Shorten the distance between the connections in my brain. It feels like I'm able to recall stuff.
Yeah. People should take lion's mane every day.
Dementia speed of recalling stuff.
That's an everyday mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely an everyday mushroom.
Especially if you're a stoner.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
And again, even if it's placebo, the idea that like this is helping me. This is helping repair my brain, but it really is.
No, yeah, definitely. It's not placebo. They really are neurogenerative.
Yeah.
They be growing stuff.
Yeah.
Mushrooms can also filter out toxins in water, not just soil.
Really?
Now that we're under a water toxin crisis, yeah.
What?
I think cordyceps and even like oyster mushrooms, I think, filter toxins out of water. Like very basic mushrooms you can grow yourself. So
that's pretty cool.
They're going to make a Berkey water filter that the top container
fungi
is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just runs through it.
There's a big breakthrough in waste. Like getting rid of waste disposal, I guess, a few years ago when they found out there was a mushroom that eats plastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was like, oh, maybe we're making all this plastic for a reason.
You know what's crazy?
They're hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. I heard this thing, like, this guy's like, why aren't we burning plastic? And I was like, this guy's retarded. This guy's so stupid. Turns out that we've gotten pretty good at creating a space in which you can burn plastics and it lets out like it captures 99.98 or 99% of like the compounds that are burnt in it. And it's actually could be really good and harvested for energy to burn our plastics. Really? Yeah, because
interesting.
The filtration has gotten so good that it actually like I forget what country it was. Supposedly burns their plastic. All like it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, but it was just so interesting. I was like, oh shit. I guess that like it could just be out there. Like we think of these like solutions as so fucking far fetched, and even nuclear power. Sorry, I got off on.
No, I mean,
but yeah, it's true though.
We've solved the energy problem lots of times.
Yeah, we probably
We've solved it many times over. It's just they've killed those people.
Oh yeah.
Many times over.
Yeah.
I want to burn our.
We should be able to burn anything for energy. Fire is energy, so if you can get a fire started, that's energy. It doesn't
You want it to look like Mumbai though, and then like there's fire everywhere, and it's like there's the smoke in the
fire.
Yes.
Fire on the mountain. Oh man. So yeah, the reason we're down here is because we're editing this thing, The Family Trip, the pilot episode of our new television series. And so we had our editor Bob down here and his girlfriend Sophia, beautiful people.
Yeah.
Just wonderful, thoughtful, amazing people to chill with.
Yeah, really talented. Both of them.
I was so proud of this household. Day after day, it's like Mare gets up, she beats everyone up. She's awake at 8 a.m., comping tracks, recording things, working on her stuff all day. We're in the edit room all day. Sophia's out here doing illustrations on her iPad. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This is like what like a community art vibe should feel like.
Totally.
We all have important things to do, and we're doing them.
Definitely.
And we came together for family meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we came together for meals, which were really special and quiet and just, enjoyed each other. And I think we knew we were going to take Molly, so we it starts affecting you.
Yeah.
Once you put it in the books, like, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, that's going to be so fun. And it started affecting us beforehand, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so funny that we're in there editing us. We filmed people take Molly.
Yeah.
And we're trying to,
taking the same dose. We took the same dose.
Taking the same dose of the same exact batch.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, well, it's only right when we finish this edit that we take the dive ourselves.
Well, exactly. Like, if we're going to edit and make something called The Family Trip, like, it was good we had a family trip.
You have to walk the walk.
Yeah.
This is our family.
We needed a family
If we're going to
trip.
give it to somebody else, you got to be able to take it.
I do love my family.
Yeah. And and that's part of this series, and what this series will do is show you family's not always like kids, parents, grandparents, or whatever.
And it's always messy. Like being close to people is always messy. And the deeper you go, the messier and more complex it gets. Yeah. And the more beautiful it is. But it does come with all that,
Yeah,
well, that's what, like, you put out a post after Valentine's Day about like, hey, we just keep doing this thing about our throuple. I thought it was astute. I was a little like, oh no, but I thought it was like, you're just like, we keep doing this thing. Like, shout out to people who go through the hard times in relationships to get to the deeper part.
I thought my post was sweet. It was like an ode to you guys.
It was so sweet.
It was just like, as long as this thing lasts.
I meant until I die. My lights go out.
Till the lights go out.
I meant till I die.
So dramatic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's true though. It's true.
But having these, especially with Molly, having these trips on the books, it does help allow that to happen. Because if we didn't have these trips on the books, we might have gotten tripped up on some conflict we had a while ago. But I think even just knowing, like, we're going to go into the Palace of Forgiveness at some point together, and we'll work it out. And we do love each other. It's really sweet. So the vibe here was really high and tight for days leading up to it. And yeah.
I mean, everything went so, including the trip. Like, everything went so smoothly. Like, just us coming here, other than the semi truck flipping over and starting a forest fire when Mare picked me up from the airport. But other than that, everyone's pretty nice. No, but it's like, it's just been so smooth and nice. Like, even hopping into the edit, it was like seamless. I was like, oh, okay, we're just there. And we're
that could have been a little wily.
Yeah, I was
like
thinking that.
Bob being like, why is the cinematographer in here giving? But like, he listened to you like he was listening to us.
Yeah, it was really
sweet.
Like,
damn, that's fucking collaboration.
Yeah, and he's a great editor too. Like, I was learning watching him edit, from watching him, and I was like, it was cool because he has good instincts too. So it's like, when you said something, he's like, oh yeah, you're right, and then just does it, and you're like, whoa, yeah.
And if he's a little resistant, you second guess it. And there was a bunch of things Cass and I wanted to do, and he was like, hold on, and then we were both like, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we edited. We finished the thing late on Friday night, and then we took Molly at 3:00 on Saturday.
3:10.
Yeah, right down the gullet.
Yep.
And that starts the countdown to like, where are we gonna be and what are we gonna be doing when this fucking thing kicks in?
Yeah. So. And I was like, I want to go to the beach. Like, I felt like my soul just needed to get to the beach.
Someone needed to do that.
Yeah.
It was Joey.
I just felt like I needed to get there. Just because we were talking about this earlier, too. It was like, with psychedelics and a lot of this medicine or a lot of these things that you take with, like, it really matters where you are. And outdoors is so important for people. Like,
it helps
wherever you are. Like, just connect with the outdoors. Sounds so fucking cheesy. But it's like, especially when you're that highly sensitive, when you've taken something, like, it's just so nice to be, when we got to those dunes, I mean, Cass, were laying in the sand.
I literally just went like, into the sand.
And I was like,
shit. At that point, we were at such different places in our trip because also we started taking acid micros when we woke up yesterday.
It's hot and ready.
It's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, and Cass took 6 of them.
Cass took an insane amount of fucking acid.
Yeah.
It was not that much.
Which is crazy. I mean, it's funny you did it hard. I was like, I took like 2.5. I was pretty mild.
I could have gone further. I think I like to do like 8 or 10.
I think that's what made the come up so much easier because you'd taken more acid too. So it's like acid when you arrive at the beach and you're carrying shit and you're not settled yet, and like then you're also having a. Well,
I also had to get us to the beach, so I could feel the Molly wanting to take over, and I was like, no, just focus. We're 1 mile from the beach, just get us there.
Yeah.
So I kind of delayed like the little bit of the come up you guys were having in the golf cart ride.
Yeah. Oh, me and Cass were chilling on the back. Yeah. We're like, this is so. We're like, all right.
We're partying.
Yeah, this is pretty nice. Cass, you definitely had the full effect of Molly. It was
Cass was the canary in the coal mine. I feel like she was the first one that was high. So like as soon as we got to the beach, she's doing sand angels.
Well, no, first. This is a holy trinity of ice cream carts. They just serve out the gospel. This is really creepy.
I got the whole world.
Junior's ice cream van. It's an ice cream van, which is way creepier.
This episode's brought to you by Junior's ice cream van. St. Simon's Island, Georgia.
Yeah.
So yeah, from my perspective, we get to the beach and I was like, this is a good idea and whatever, and we settle for a second. And Cass just immediately flaps and starts just getting sand all over her body, up and everything, and just doing sand angels. And I realized, like, I'm not in that place. And it kind of started, like, a little bit of the avalanche of, like, is this fucked up? We have not come right to the beach. Like, it's very hot. There's no hiding from the sun. And
it's just adorable how spooked you get from something like innocent, but like I feel like I just like triggered your OCD with like how dirty I was getting myself. But I was like, I'm literally gonna jump in.
It did trigger that a little bit, but also like you were like, Joey, let's go down and walk over here, and I was just like, fuck, they're at such a different. Like I need to breathe now for like a half hour, and they're like trying to have fun. Well, and I want to have fun.
When you first said you're like, you want to go for a walk, I was like, give me 5 minutes. Like, because just the breathe, like, when I was laying in the sand, I was like, first of all, why am I not laying in the sand? And I saw you, and I was like, cool. And then, like, it was just so nice. And like you were saying, with your family or just with people, like, yeah, it's important having these conversations, all these things, and hanging out. But when you're in just silence and you're able to just all be with each other and just, like, breathe. Like,
I mean, that's what the family trip is. Yeah. Like, regardless of what anyone feels like, what they have to say in that moment, just those moments where we're all just, like, quietly sitting there, like. That's when, like, next level connection that we probably can't even put our finger on is happening, you know, that you could even just hold space like that.
Or the I song.
That's what started to save me. I was like, all right, I got to just catch my breath and just listen to my breath for a while because I guess I was listening to my thoughts that were being very intrusive and just thinking about, is it too hot? Am I dehydrated? Was this a bad idea? And also, like, Mare and I got in a lover's spat before we took it. It was really my problem. Like, I walked in on Mare, like, getting ready, and I was like, this place is a fucking mess. Let's clean it up. And then we had a little spat, and I don't know, when the Molly hits you, I'm just like, I'm such a fucking asshole. I hope she forgives me.
Well, like you had to purge those feelings. Like, they had to come up.
Yeah, but I was so in the throes of psychedelia that I couldn't verbally communicate it yet. But, like, I knew we're fine. Like, I knew we were good, but, like, we just needed to say it. And, when Mare just, like, was just like, I love you. And I was like, I love you too. And I was like, caught my breath and started doing some ohms, and she was doing some ohms with me.
I started them. That's why you did
that's
them.
Why I did. Really helps. Mare knows what helps me in that situation.
Well, he's me, and like I know when you start making sounds, like you can't think anymore. You start to get into this meditative place. I held a note with you on that couch longer than I've ever held before. I swear to God, I held like a 5-minute
Last
note.
night, that was insane.
I got like lost in space and time, where you can get like a certain space in your head where like you're not doing anything. You're letting just like the least amount of air that you can let out, and it's just you're kind of like letting noise happen. Yeah, it was really fun and great.
So you saved my life on the beach by saying like, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry, but also like just starting oming, and then they ran off, and you guys were having your time, and
then Joey came over and ay-ay-ay'd with you. And That's another great way to come up on any kind of drugs if you feel like you're getting caught in your chest and stuff. If you're with other people,
that's a good way of describing it. Like just a blockage on the way to the heart.
Just to make some noises.
And we do it so much that then somebody starts adding something like that, and that's when I'm like, oh, I can have fun today.
Yeah,
I'll be fine. This is that's funny. Someone's doing like a different melody to this.
Well, and I swear, lover spats is like kind of part of
Molly.
Like it kind of is. Like there's like a last gasp expression of like.
I always say it's your ego's last stand. It knows you're about to slay it for the day, and it's like, I have one more little thing to say about my preferences.
If I could I just add one more thing? If you don't mind.
Point of personal privilege.
We almost didn't trip because there's a part of you that doesn't want to, and it's interesting on the way here. I was just thinking about that, like how much, like how loud the different parts of us are in different periods of our life with like acid and stuff about like being scared to trip, and how much your ego like holds on to like, but I like this version of me, so like of course I don't like really want to do this drug, you know.
Oh yeah, because you get on the Ferris wheel of life and you're like, I don't know where I'm gonna get off. I kind of like where I'm at right now.
That's kind of how but then always with Molly, it's kind of hard to regret taking Molly unless you really did it wrong.
You would really have to have put yourself in a fucked up situation.
I have yet to regret it.
Or just take it too much. If you take it too much, like we were saying, like we take breaks.
You have to do moderation.
Yeah.
But Sean, you were reading some stories about how people like really fucked their brain up by just abusing it.
Yeah, just take we should caveat all this. Like we take 100 milligrams. It's like the least effective
once every
dose.
4 months.
Once every 4 months.
They do
once a
say
season.
there's like a 3-month regeneration period with all of your serotonin receptors and stuff.
Yeah.
So as long as you keep yourself in that kind of a timeline, that's
I think
good.
they say it's sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it can seem extreme if you're used to doing it more often, but it makes it so much more special too.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like segment seasons of your life. It's cool.
I thought it was also like the 3-month thing was the wife of the person who found MDMA. She found it to be very useful every 3 months, but 3 months. But I think it's every 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're back to baseline pretty much after 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to overdo this drug just because it's so sacred.
Yeah,
and you don't want to have one where it's just like a throwaway. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it with this. That said, like we advocate for taking acid and mushrooms, especially in microdose form. Like take them, fucking do what you got to do. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny because I definitely talked to Joey about some stuff. I talked to Mare about some stuff, but I feel like with you, I've taken Molly with you so many times. I'm like, I don't really have anything to say to you.
I don't have anything to say. Yeah, all you said to me was just like, you're the love of my life. You know. Like I was like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we love each other.
Yeah, but it was funny because in my head, I'm like, fucking Joey and Cass are having a good time. Me and Mare are dragging our feet a little bit. I'm like, oh, me and Mare brought energetic baggage into this, whether we knew it or not. So it just took us like an extra second. I don't know if that's how you felt, but it just took me an extra second to get where they were.
Yeah, me and Cass were just like,
that's why we call ourselves Bubble Buddies.
Yeah, the Bubble Buddies. We're like, we'll hold down the dark realm, and like, I'm laying there with you guys, and I'm just breathing, and like, you guys are talking, and then I just sit up, and I was like,
yeah, I was like, oh shit,
just like the craziest dry heave to where I'm like, oh, I'm about to puke, and then I was like, fuck, this sucks, and then I was like, wait, I'm gonna feel so much better. I'm just gonna puke, and then it just passed.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, I'm fine.
Yeah, that is usually.
That was it,
dude. Seabass gets that same thing. Seabass gets super similar thing. He thinks he has to throw up or he'll get in his head about throwing up, and then like either it's once the thought passes or if he just throws up, like he'll just have he's like, oh, I'm back, I'm having a great time.
It's something. I'm be interested to see Seabass's astrology. We might have something in the same house because like certain people just that's how their stress manifests is in like just the need to purge, and all of everything we're experiencing physically mainly is emotional. You know, it just manifests in different ways, and like I've definitely had psychedelic come-ups where like you can't shake the like that like deep like you're not cold, but like it's like, oh god.
Yep.
like that kind of shit. But
you're vibrating too fast and you can't like find your center or something.
Yeah, you're just getting used to it. But I've tripped so many times now when this is happening. Even when it was happening yesterday, I was like, this is hilarious. I'm fucking laying in the dunes at some beach. Like there's bird watchers everywhere. That's what we rolled up on. It's like a fucking like 45 bird watchers.
It was like the Audubon Society.
Yeah, like Cass goes right up to them, just looking through their binoculars and shit. And I'm like laying there like, this is funny, but I'm having a hard time right now. And I do think it's because we just took that little bit of energetic. We worked out our shit before we went in, but I guess we just needed to work out some other shit. You know?
I left my shit before I came for the trip. I was like, I'll just leave it at home. That's all. Stay at home. I'm like, I'm just gonna bring nothing but Molly to the. No.
There's something in our astrology, Mare's and I's, when you overlay our things that our struggles is going to come in the world of communication. What is that specifically?
Yeah, no, it's like the way that our Mercuries relate to each other.
It's so funny because we click in like so many ways, but then they're like, I'm just talking about like we're good at communicating, but the surface level, the like, you know,
we can both get caught in like different levels of language, and like we're both kind of like unconsciously sort of like King of Cups, Queen of Cups, water manipulative. So like there's a lot going on psychically. Like it's
interesting.
Yeah, it can be a lot, but
you guys are a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
that's how Cass would describe it. PETA, pain in the
ass. Yeah.
You guys are just floating about like, yeah.
Well, we both, we're just like, Cancer on Cancer energy, very emotional, very stormy, and very into prioritizing our feelings, and so like going as deep as we can into them. You know, we both do that, and when it usually means things will be more pressurized. You know, whether it's water or fire. But I do think it makes me a better person and a better communicator.
Exactly.
Refines my artistry, and you make me a better person.
The shit that I hate about our communications, probably the shit that has helped us both evolve the most, because it's like we do want to find a place where we could do that, and like that's why like your post on Valentine's Day, it touches my heart, because I'm like, we have fucking gone through a lot of shit, and it, especially like the dynamic we have here, it would be so easy to bail on it. Like when you bailed on us that one time, like it's an easy thing to bail on, just like, this is too much, you know, but then we don't do that, and we're like, hold the line. And like we have a beautiful friend like Joey who reminds Cass and I, and like we were saying yesterday, like we don't really have anyone else that close to us that will say like, Mare's fucking incredible. You guys have been happier and more excited since she's been in your life. And I'm like,
sometimes
that's
a fool
good.
Is right.
Sometimes a fool is right. Sometimes you got to listen.
Read that in the Bible last night.
Yeah. But
Bobo, not so stupid.
Receiveth me as a fool, and I may boast a little.
There you go. Joey was reading the New Testament last night. We might have a new convert.
I might have switched religions last night, to be honest. I think I'm going to be bustling around with the Christian sign.
So we were at the beach for fucking like 2.5 hours.
Which went like that. It felt like
20 minutes.
Felt like 25 minutes. We were there.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about it. I was like, okay, so we did like the come up on the dune, and then we did the sand angels, and then we went for a little walk. I jumped in the water.
I didn't go swimming. I went swimming earlier that day.
I came back. Then we threw the frisbee around a little bit. We did a little chance probably. Then we did the frisbee.
A little walkabout.
Little frisbee, and then we left. Then we walked to get the
sun started going down. We're like, let's get back. We don't want to be bummed out over here.
Yeah.
And so we had still half the trip ahead of us.
Yeah. Which it kicked into a whole new gear in here.
Yeah, when we got back here, and the sun went down, we just put on some Grateful Dead live.
Bingo bongo.
And we took out the bongo drums, and me and Joey just played for probably another 2.5 hours.
Yeah, literally.
You know, like that's pretty much how we spent the trip. It's like the beach, and then we sat there playing drums.
I was going in demon mode. My eyes were rolling back.
I didn't even realize that because I was in my own. In order to do that, and shout out to anyone who's a drummer and plays live.
Oh my God.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
We only hit the pockets we were in beat with each other, but we only hit the pockets probably cumulatively 7 minutes, 6 minutes.
I hope it was a lot more than that.
No. I mean,
because people were listening, and I was like, I hope we're not ruining their time, but I can't stop doing
I know.
this.
It's like, this is too fun.
Did you like it?
Yeah, was it all right?
You made me dance.
It sounded good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I wasn't sure there was that, because again, as a drummer or musician or whatever, you really just have to stay out of all of your way. You just have to let go of all the judgments, and literally just the more you think about it, the less you're going to be playing, and just sit in the feeling of playing. And it can be
when you
hard.
think while you're drumming, you lose
lost.
it.
Yeah.
I do it with guitar too.
Yeah.
Like I'll be flowing. I'm like, wow, I actually know how to play this thing. And that thought, well, I'm just like, oh.
Totally. But last night was easy to get around that because I just had my eyes closed. I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to go
close your eyes and get into flow. Yeah. Fucking incredible. That was so fun. Was
you guys definitely sounded in the pocket. So I was
I felt like we were. And I remember being impressed by Joey.
Yeah, we
were. I was like, damn, he can actually you can play.
Yeah, it was fun. And at one point we were like communicating through the drums. Yeah. That was the coolest part where it's like I'd do like 3 taps and I'd come back with it and then you'd like hear it come back.
I felt that too.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It sounds lame.
Shut the fuck up.
It might sound lame, but like we were very connected in that moment, and that's what Jerry always described the Grateful Dead music as. He's like, we're just up there having a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
And if you're really listening, you're like, wow, that's what bluegrass music is. It's just instruments having a conversation with each other and playing off and like, oh, I did this cute little thing. Now you're gonna add something.
Yeah. That was so cool. It was so fun.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Having instruments around, even if you're just gonna play along to music that's out there. Or hum along or chant along. And we started getting into that after we put the drums away. That's when we hit the longest note of all time.
I know. I heard you guys oming.
It was so perfect that I didn't know Mare was doing it with me. Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is as long as I could hold a note. And then I stopped for a second and I heard Mare. And I was like, we were harmonizing so perfect that it sounded like the same person. It was so incredible. So incredible.
I was like coming in and out of existence in the chair. I was like, I'm not alive. Oh, let's drum.
Well, you started adding dabs to the mix at that hour.
That was so fun. I had like 4 different beats to lock on to as a dancer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. There was a lot going on. Like you got like the Phil Lesh bass, rhythm section, the actual drummer, Billy, and then us in the room. So,
That was fun.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, Mare was dancing her little booty off.
I opened my eyes and everyone was gone. Like,
yeah,
Bob was there.
That happened a couple times.
There. You guys were just sitting near me, and then I opened. I saw Mare for a second dancing and cast up. I was like, cool. And then I opened, and everyone's gone.
That was my experience of the night too. I'm like playing. I'm like, everyone's loving this. I closed my eyes for 20 minutes, open, and I'm like, everyone's gone. 20 minutes later, I open. I'm like, everyone's back. Awesome.
Everyone's back. Yeah.
I did pretty good at not calling and texting a million people, but
I know.
You got a little.
Well, you're like, I called my mom, and then I also told her, and I was like,
the message Cass sent to her mom is incredible.
I still have it. Do you want to hear it?
Play it. Play it on this. This is Cass on Molly.
I want to hear it.
Oh, this is so fucking
funny. Talk about the family trip.
I have the urge to reach for my phone, obviously, but I didn't touch my phone the entire night. I didn't touch it until this morning.
All right, it's a little long. It's 50 seconds, but
let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's see.
This is Cass on Molly leaving a voice memo for her mom. Whoa, hold on. Let me turn this off.
No, I got it. I'll just disconnect it.
This is hilarious.
Just calling to let you know I'm on Molly. And I want to call you and just tell you how much I love you in this state. I would like to tell you in not this state, but also in this state, that I love you and I'm so grateful for you and I can't wait for you to see the family trip. It's so beautiful. We just sent it off today, a cut that we're really happy with, so feeling really, really good about it, and I can't wait for you to see. And I don't know, I just love you so much, and I'm so grateful you're my mom. And anyway, I'm so excited that you're meeting a guy or guys now from like doing the things that you love. That's how you should meet people through your passion. So I gotta say, I'm very optimistic myself, and everyone I show the picture to, they're like, oh my God, he's so handsome. So Mom, I don't know what you're thinking. He's a total babe, and I hope you guys have so much fun, and I hope you enjoy it and don't be too scared of love. Okay, I love you. I love you so much.
That was so sweet.
Isn't that? Her mom wrote back like, I'm gonna cherish this message forever.
But
I'm gonna save
my mom's
this.
going
Play
on a
this for
date
me.
today.
Yeah.
She's a guy. She does an art class where she does like models will come and she'll draw them in a class. Not always nude. He wasn't nude.
Okay.
And one of the models was like on Valentine's Day was like, will you be my Valentine? You're so like beautiful and bright, and I don't usually see people with light in their eyes. And God, this is what you hope for my mom. You know what I mean? I'm like, my mom has just been so steadfast in her life, and she finally got to the place where she's like, I don't even need a man. I don't want a man. I have art. I have my cat. I'm creative, and just followed her passions, and her passions are leading us, I think, towards love.
Yes. But with a beautiful cowboy. That guy's
with a total cowboy.
Yeah, that guy's
with a radio show and in a band.
He's probably got nice arms.
Good stepdad material.
Yeah.
He looks like,
good stepdad material.
He looks sturdy. He looks like a good man. I need to hear his voice to really get him.
It must be deep if he has a radio show.
Yeah, I think this is good. Cass hasn't dealt with stepdad energy since her parents got divorced. So
no.
You'll see. We'll see if we can hang with this guy.
I need it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I mean, yeah, we were talking about this before we took Molly. It's just like the best thing you could do if you want to find love is just like do the things you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't worry about it too much. Just keep doing the things you love, and like you're just gonna get introduced to more people that are doing those things. And
just follow it.
And I also just feel like what I said to my mom at the end, like don't be scared of love. Like
that was the killer line.
He's being very forward with her and like excited, and she's like, slow your roll. Like let's see how this goes.
Why do we do that though?
Yeah.
That's the protection. Yeah. Like you're just like I don't want to get involved.
Or you don't want to go in too deep and then change your mind, and then it'd be awkward. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to me.
Joey's like, will you marry me?
Yeah, I'll propose to you and then be like, why were you reading into this? I don't understand what you saw in this. What do you...
Oh, don't read into me giving you a ring and proposing to you.
On Molly.
Don't read into
that.
that.
Really just a casual thing.
Yeah. That was more casual.
That was more just fun. No.
Wait, can Joey tell his story or no?
What story?
No, I'm just kidding. Wait, I think.
The one about taking a young lady's virginity.
Yeah. All right.
This is hilarious.
This was COVID.
This was cracking me up the other night. Height of COVID, you were living at your parents' house.
I'm trying to remember. I was in such a high place. I was just remembering. But yeah, height of COVID. Wasn't really seeing people. Worked at a cafe, and this girl walked in, and blah 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 blah. We got whatever. We hung out a couple times. Found out she was a virgin. Then she tried to fuck me in the back of my mom's car next to the beach, and
like, this
didn't
isn't
work.
the right place for it.
No, this isn't. It didn't fit at the time. There was nerves everywhere. Like, come on, we don't want to do it here. I didn't want to do it there. I was like, all right. So
it's like pushing a marshmallow through a keyhole.
Yeah, sure. And one of the things
nothing doing
that she loved to do is like she'd call me on the phone. It was really annoying because I told her from the beginning like I'm just want to hook up. Like I'm not in the space for this or anything. And she's like. Would call me on the phone and then like
she's like, I do want a little intimate connection before I give my virginity up.
No,
but
I was
okay.
No, but like that's fine when I'm with you in person. But then like FaceTime me and then talk to me for like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right,
I've got to go.
I got to go. You're not talking about much at all. Actually, you're just saying the same thing over and over again.
Okay, I need water.
Yeah, I need. People need water, you know. And so, yeah. Then she would log in, and I'd be like, all right, I got to go. And then she'd be like, okay, cool. So anyways, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm fucking trying to leave. And, so then one time she but she would always hit me up to come over. And I had decided, I don't think I want to sleep with this girl. Like, she seems kind of annoying or whatever. And then it was 11 p.m. at night after work. My parents were gone. And she's like, hey, can I come over? I was like, sure.
Booty call.
She
was ready for her first booty call.
Yeah, it was a big... But, when she got in there, I was like, I'm so tired. I have work tomorrow. I don't really want to hang out with this girl. So, when she came in, I was like, by the way, my parents are sleeping.
Oh, holy shit, bro.
I have to be quiet. Go into the room. So, snuck into the room. We just had loud sex. No, I'm just kidding. And then just
keeping that up the whole night.
And then we had sex, just trying to talk. I'm like, shh.
Well, the best part is she wanted to stay the night, and you're like, actually.
Oh yeah, well she was trying to sleep over. I was like, well my parents are gonna get up in the morning, so you should probably
climb out the window.
And then I tied a fucking sheet and I made her go out the window.
I don't know why this gets me
I did feel really bad, and I'm telling it in a light humor, but I did feel really shitty, and I was like, oh man, I took this. But she was very forceful with all of it. And,
no, she decided you were the one, and exactly. It was gonna happen.
And then the next
you
guy
did your best to accommodate it.
Next
That's fucking funny.
The next guy she dated, she has 2 kids now. So.
Are you kidding me?
No. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she got pregnant right after, a year after.
Damn, Sue.
And now she gets to go into that relationship not being like, you're the only guy I've had sex with.
Yeah, so
and from her perspective, losing her virginity story, she didn't know your parents weren't home.
Yeah, they were sleeping.
You know, to her, it was just part of how she lost her virginity.
I'm not that big of an asshole, just for the record. I see how Mare's staring at me while I'm saying this story, and I'm like...
No, really, Joey's not. We joke around on Boys Club, our secret podcast, patreon.com/churchofchill. Yeah, but actually, the more that we've done Boys Club and Excavate, and we try to tell all of our bad stories and stuff, Joey's actually somehow conducted himself with more integrity than I would.
I think that's a generous white lie, saying my parents are home.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, hey, I really don't want you to sleep at night.
Yeah, perfect. That would have hurt her a lot more.
Lot.
Yeah,
a lot. And I'd be like, you're kind of annoying. But she, but yeah, no, I agree. Well, I just feel and we were talking about this on Boys Club, is you have to deal every relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl. Just deal with it with as much like honesty and kindness as you can bring to it. Like those are the two things you want to bring the most. Like just say your truth and be as honest as you can. And like with the closest people, obviously you're never 100% honest, but you're, try to get as close to 100% as you can. And it's like that's with any relationship, and that's just important for building them.
The line that's like blurry and it's different for all people is like between lying and then not wanting to hurt the person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there is a level where you're just being like so honest with somebody that it's like, dude, I don't need to fucking hear about all this stuff.
It's hard because there's not a steadfast rule. It's more of like case by case basis. Like where are you weighing it on the scale of like, all right, am I just saying this so I can get off my chest, or like am I saying this because it's going to benefit me and the other person, or know, or am I just getting this out because I am selfishly have to let this out?
Yeah.
And then when it comes out, you're like, oh wait, maybe I didn't need to do it that way. But we talked about like triggers, like sometimes whether it's anger, whether it's sexual, whether it's whatever, being hurt, like once the trigger comes up, if you could catch it before.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's very hard. Tough. But
I really wish I could have avoided getting on Mare's case yesterday because it was so unnecessary. Yeah. It was just I guess it was necessary because just the way I see life is like it's just perfection unfolding. But I really I guess that's just a good talisman for like you got to be better, dude. Like that was so unnecessary. Like Mare was literally in the middle of like getting out of the shower and like getting her shit together, and I was like, "What is all this shit?" She's like, "I just got out of the shower."
Has a Q-tip in her. She's like, "What?"
Literally, it was like she just had like a towel half on her, everything's wet, and she's like Q-tipping, and like I'm just like.
I came back into the house and I heard you guys. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
That was a good call. You protected your Merkaba.
Yeah, you know. I was out here. I was like, "So we're doing the podcast, or?"
We did. We ended up doing it. I almost got to the point of no return, and it's just such a fucking stupid and scary place to be inhabiting. And when you're not inhabiting it, it's like you can't imagine being that person again. You know?
But the last big fight you and Mare had was also before we were going to take Molly. We didn't end up taking it.
No, that's why this time Cass asked me. She was like, "Are you going to take Molly tomorrow?" And I was like, "I'm taking Molly hell or high fucking water. I'm the only person taking Molly tomorrow."
Right.
So
it was going down.
When Sean and I popped off, I was literally on my knees.
You were.
I was begging for this trip to happen. I was like, dude,
you're like, don't do this.
You are not going to take this away. Yeah. I did everything.
No, and I felt her, and I was like, I got to get this together.
I would have been like,
I will never forgive you if we don't do Molly.
I said I love you.
Yeah. Well, it's also just like so clearly what we needed. Like we were fighting because we need Molly. Like we have crazy levels of communication that are not language based. You know, and when we don't get enough of that, it can get like caught in the language arena. You know.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Which makes it that much more complicated to navigate when it's happening.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
you're like,
true.
Whoa, is this real? Is this something we need to deal with, or should I?
Because we haven't we hadn't physically connected. Like we could just get
Oh yeah, I mean that's another huge factor. It's like we come down here and you guys both get your period at the same time, which never happens. You know, if that's TMI, whatever, I could take this out.
No, we're noon moon babies right now.
Noon moon.
No moon.
All three of us were on our period when we showed up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I got mine yesterday.
Yeah, you got yours yesterday. So we're all menstruating.
Oh man, I have a fucking yoni egg.
Yeah, I put a yoni crystal up there. So. But no, sometimes you have to let out that or keep it in. Sometimes again, it's that balancing of the scale. It's like when you're at the beach and you're like, oh, should I keep you had to work through the thoughts inside.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is really helpful, and sometimes you have to get out what you want to get out or say what you want to say, even when it's like it is tough, and it is that balancing act of like, okay, am I just reacting and I'm letting this thing out on somebody?
Yeah.
Or am I
does this need to be put out there?
Yeah. So
or in this way, at least, is this the most effective way to say hey, we need to tighten up and make this place cleaner? Is that is there a way to say hey, I still value and feel what I'm saying, but I don't need to say it with anger, and I don't need to say it right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be
we're so deep in this thing, we don't have a ton of things to fight about. Yeah. So it does always come down to something very what? Why are we even I don't know. But that was a dead giveaway in your last relationship when there was a little bit of a cheating scandal went down, not on your end of things. But you handled it in a way that I was like, this relationship isn't going to last. Yeah. You should be popping off on this girl.
Yeah.
And the fact that you weren't, it was just it's just a ticking time bomb to when you're going to break up.
Yeah.
But ultimately you didn't want to be with her. And I guess that's maybe how you found out, and it took a while. But your initial reaction of being you didn't even call us for a week.
No, I was like.
You're just like, I'm going to swallow this. I'll just take it like a man. I'm not going to get on her case. And I'm like,
took it like a simpy man.
Even if you seem like a pussy, man, you should express fully like that 100%. Ain't cool.
I actually was really proud of myself for how I dealt with it because I'm like,
I was too.
Kind of in like an open relationship. I'm like, I can't really be angry. So I'm like, the option of being angry is all. I didn't get angry. I mean, I was, you were hurt. Yeah, hurt, and I did have some anger, but it was more like I had to deal with that. In the realm of like, all right, well, I'm just gonna have to be more honest and be more communicative, and then then it's just all it all fell to the wayside.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking how you handled it, but it was just like, oh, this isn't gonna be a long-term thing with them too.
No, it was on Thanksgiving Day too. I was with my entire family, and I was like, oh my god, she told me. I already knew I had a dream about it. And
that's fucked up.
Oh my god, it's always like that.
Yeah,
it's always like that. If people can remember their dreams, I bet every time you've been cheated on, you've dreamt about it before.
I knew it.
I'm telling you, it happened. It's happened like in every weird thing in my relationships.
Yeah. I knew. It
well,
was so
you
weird.
told me when you were cheated on, you knew.
Oh
like, you knew, and then you went to try to get the evidence and you found it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I got caught cheating on my ex-wife with Cass.
Yeah.
Like it just all of a sudden she just knew. Took her a fucking while.
Yeah.
That's what alcoholism will do.
Alcohol is so powerful. That I was just about to say. It makes. I mean, and not everyone is like. I'm definitely like a very intuitive person, but you're like, dude, girls just like pretend to not know. Like when you like I guess boys meet my mother's friends that have been like 10 years deep into a relationship or whatever. Yeah, like
boys.
Like how you fucking women. There's something that happens to like a woman's brain when you start having sex with a man, where you like download his DNA or something.
Like psychic shit starts happening.
Yeah.
That's why you got to be careful how you throw it around.
Yeah.
It's true.
You can't be just slinging it left and right.
I forget what that quote is from American Beauty. It's like never underestimate the power of denial or something, or like. I forget what it was. It's really good, but it's like I think that happens with everybody. Like you just you put it off. If it hurts enough, you put it off
as
so
much.
Yeah,
totally.
As much as you can. Like
totally.
You're like, oh, this is.
Wait, put what off?
Like put off the
like accepting that your partner is cheating or whatever, or something's happening you're lied to or whatever.
Yeah,
your ego goes to work building a story that just can make you function.
Right, exactly.
Instead of upending your whole life out of nowhere. Like it must suck. Like to have to be the person like I got cheated on, now I got to leave this fucking guy or forgive them. You know.
Oh, how horrible.
Or doing the cheating. If you're cheating, I don't know. I've never been able to feel good. Like I don't cheat anymore, but it's like it was not anymore.
It's a horrible feeling, but I will say when I was doing it with Cass, it was almost like it's weird. The other thing felt horrible. Yeah. Pretending to do that thing felt more horrible than our thing because I found true love.
Yeah, that's different.
Oh yeah, that.
I'm talking about you just go out and fucking just get in a threesome and come on a girl fucking 3 times, and it's like what you don't
feel great about
yourself.
Walk
away. Yeah, you dig out a tampon from the girl. Sorry, this is gross. But
Jesus Christ,
with my talons, and then at that point you really sober up from like the 7 beers. You're like, I'm holding a
it's like a Molly come down. It's
it
like
is.
A crash.
You're like I cheated on a girl with a bloody tampon.
I know. I didn't enter her vagina
in a threesome.
Okay. But yeah, just feel I've never been able to feel like good. I just felt like the intense, like the biggest come down after, because you're just like, wow, I just let myself down. I let someone else down. Now I have something I have to like hold in, and like I hate that in any relationships, is just keeping something inside of yourself that you're like, I like have to like I just choose not to do that. I try to live my life where I just fucking.
That's why it's good to know yourself. If you're somebody that like needs to be in an open relationship and needs like certain different things in your life, because
I think more people do than will admit to themselves that they do.
Absolutely.
And so I think we're in this like, I don't know. I think almost. How do I say this? Yeah, more people probably. I think it's like almost a travesty that like cheating ruins relationships when it should build them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
what are we talking
about? It doesn't always have to be the mark of it. Like there definitely are lots of examples of somebody fucking up and they cheat, and then them and the partner like work through that, and they become a stronger couple, and they work and they make adjustments and do that kind of thing. So
because it's like, okay, your partner's like out there looking for love and connection, and like don't you want that for them? Yeah. Like it's confusing.
My dad and mom, my dad cheated on my mom with like the secretary somehow. Like
Well, you're really just putting it all out there,
It's fine.
Joey.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
fine. Yeah,
They've talked about this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
They no, but they're like I guess they had a keep it on the DL, everybody.
Keep this to yourselves.
Yeah, keep it yo. But yeah, no, they it somehow reminded the person was like my dad when he looks back on it, he's like it was such not the right fit, but when you're in the throes of it, kind of you're stuck in it because it just reminded him of his sister who had passed away, I think, and it was like kind of like she had the same hair, she smoked cigarettes, which my dad hates cigarettes, but like for some reason he loved this girl.
That's like the type of context that Cass is talking about. You start to consider these things and be like, I love this person. Oh, he experienced tragedy and he's trying to do like, you know what I mean? Like he got confused or whatever.
And then my mom, I think my dad told my mom, like went up and was like, hey, like, so I've been seeing this and like, I mean, it's
I know where you get it from
kind of serious. And my mom's like, she's so strong. Like, this is where my dad said he found out so much about my mom's strength too. Like they had 3 kids, I was just born. And my mom's like, okay, well, if you need to go experience that, and that's fine. I'll take the kids. Don't worry. And then like,
he was like, I want to have.
He's like,
well, that's what I'm saying. You should naturally push your partner out the door. Say, experience what you need to experience, and if you come back, fuck yeah. And if you don't, it's like good riddance. I don't know. That's how I feel.
That wasn't bad to air out. I think I'm good. All right, guys.
I think you're good.
Well, I mean, it is one of those moments in a relationship. It's like, okay, now it's all out on the table. Like we've been unfaithful.
Yeah. My mom would never. My mom would never. But like,
I think me getting caught. I think that was the only way that it was going to go down, that this would become the epic love relationship that it was. Because, like, I don't know, if it was me, like, very consciously being like, hold on, let me go break up with my, like, I would have been so confused and being manipulated and pulled in every direction. Because, like, when she did catch me, that was her instinct. It wasn't to break up with me. She realized in that moment how much she loved me and how much she wanted to be with me. And she said, let's just fix it. We can do better. And, like, she forgave me. And we did a couple weeks of therapy, and I was just like, I gotta go. I'm in love with somebody else. This is inappropriate.
That was like the last relationship too. Like, we each did our respective, kind of open relationships. She slept with somebody, then I slept with my ex, and then, I was like, I don't want to continue, but the other person did, and I was like, this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
I'm on acid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take Molly again.
Let's take Molly again.
Let's renew our vows.
Let's go to the.
When do you think is an appropriate time to take Molly in a relationship? Like with somebody that you're romantically involved with. I know our story is probably the anomaly, but like
probably a year and a half, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah. Like you gather a lot of experiences together.
I think there's no rules.
No, there's no steadfast rules again,
But like 6 months.
You want to, it's so easy to like fall in love with somebody when you just take Molly with them. You're like, whoa, this person's awesome. And like, come down and you're like, we don't have that much in common, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like it's unwise to dose someone. Because then if they do start loving you, you're like, but was this real? Did you really love me? Or are you Molly-eyed for me?
I think us 3 were in love, and that's why we could take Molly so soon, because it just helped us get to the place it might have taken us like 4 more months to get to, or maybe 4 more hangs, or maybe 4 more hours. Because like we did it the 3rd time we hung out. The first time we hung out, the energy was palpable, and I was like, Cass, we should get with this girl. And Cass was like, no, don't. Like I don't think it's like that. Yeah. And I was like, all right. And the second time we hung out, I was like, Cass was blacking out in the back seat because we saunaed for too long. And she never gets headaches or anything. She was just in the back seat like, and me and Mare were just like on one in the front talking about everything, and we dropped her off, and I'm like, yo, I think we're all in love. Like I'm pretty sure she wants to fucking hang out with us. And Cass had no read on the situation because she was so fucking out of it, and Mare wore a little outfit in the sauna, so it was like she's not fully. Like,
what was it supposed to be naked on
I don't know.
date?
I don't know.
That's how you know, Mare. That's how you know.
I would have been cool with it.
Yeah.
Well, we would have been cool with it, and we probably would have, consummated right then and there.
It's true, but it's a bold move to get naked in the sauna the second time you're hanging out.
Totally. It's with a couple.
Yeah.
Too. Because we could have easily been like, hey, what's going on here?
I need to protect my boyfriend's eyes from this.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Molly love stories. It's Yeah, I've had so many special moments with strangers in clubs.
Yeah.
Just in between dancing for hours, when you're
you fell
just
in
trying
love
to get
on the
some
dance
water. Floor? No, somebody's like, "Oh, you tattoo? These are the 17 things I've ever thought about getting tattooed."
Oh my God! And you're sitting there listening.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
So and my mom's also thought about ideas.
Have you ever been?
Here's her idea.
Here's your ideas.
My mom's a cool lady. You want to hear about her?
But yeah, and people always make plans with you. You just meet people. And
I love that.
We're gonna be best friends forever.
Yeah.
Totally.
You never see each other again, but it's really fun.
I love that. The it's not a rule, but it's a good thing to remember. Don't make future plans on Molly. Just be in the moment.
Cass dropped the killer punchline of yesterday that started pulling me out of my bullshit. As soon as the Molly was hitting us, Cass goes, "We should all go to Hawaii together."
Yeah,
because that's specifically a rule we have. We're no more talking about going to Hawaii while we're on Molly. And it's so funny because she said it as a joke, and then you guys were like, "We should," and then Mare made a real case for it, and I was like. I'm sitting there dying. I'm like,
oh, you were joking?
Mare's right. We should. But because Cass said it, and I was like, "Do you feel better now?"
You did. You were like, "That's it. It should be a place we should go."
I was like, "It actually probably would be a great spot to start our next movie."
It's wild magic.
Yeah, it's so funny once we implement that. The first Molly trip where we have that rule of just stop planning trips to Hawaii. We've only been there once.
I was doing it as a joke.
I know. That's what was so funny about it because he didn't know that, and he was like, "Yeah," and then Mare thought about it in a real way for a second. And was like,
"Well, I've been saying."
She's like, "We could get hooked up with a place out there." Yes. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is actually really smart."
Yeah, wild magic.
Our next movie, Wild Magic.
No, but the reason we say that and the reason is because what Mare's saying is you make all these plans and you're not in the moment. You're thinking about this moment, and then you come down and you're like, I'm never actually going to do that thing I spent all my Molly trip talking about. And you're like, that was such a waste.
Exactly.
Totally.
Well, and the reason I think we should have these rules is because I'm like, it's such a fun thing to do and it's so useful. Let's not fuck with the integrity of it. Let's not turn it into a drunken time where it's what did I say?
Yeah.
Just be present.
That could probably, you could definitely do
I was
that.
about to start texting Mare's parents, and I was like, I need to chill.
Yeah.
Because I'm so I have so much love that I want to give that I want to love bomb everyone in my life.
I know it's tempting to
I'm
text Mare's parents for some reason. We're on Molly. I'm like,
I actually almost texted Mare's parents too. I was almost like, this trip is sick. Wish you guys were here. Wish you guys were here.
I've loved her little face ever since I first laid eyes on her.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, being present. That's why I like moving my body. Molly always makes me grateful to have a body. And that keeps me present too.
Yeah.
Just focus on the beat, Yeah, you just looseness.
That's why I need to do more acid, because that's what gets me really dancing, is because after I get up through the come up and then I feel like I can stand up again, my body, I'm like, I got to shake my booty.
Oh, yeah.
That probably helped with the music a little bit too, was the acid.
Yeah. Because sometimes Molly and music aren't don't go that hand in hand. It almost is doesn't make a difference. You add a little acid to it, and you're like, this sounds incredible.
Or you're so in it.
Yeah. But that was so I feel like, not to brag, but I feel like I got the most out of that Molly trip, because while you guys were starting to fade onto the couch, I said, I'm going to do the opposite. And I started lifting weights and stretching and doing yoga and camel poses. And I'm like, I was going to bed at 1:30. My pupils were still huge. I was still feeling it very much. I laid there for another 3 hours still feeling it. And I think it was because I just started bringing attention to every part of my body and stretching every muscle I could, and really just heavy, long breaths.
Yeah,
it was a really good way to just ride out the wispy ends of it. It didn't feel like it ended to me.
That's also the best part of Molly, and another good rule is just breathe. Every single time I would feel that rush of love that I have to give or anything, I was like, oh, just breathe it in. And
give it to yourself.
And give it to yourself. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
That's the most useful thing you could do.
Yeah.
Give it to yourself. Imbue your body with all that stuff. Just picture it just healing all the cells. And that's what I was doing while I was doing the yoga. Just listening to Willie Nelson live at Budokan 1984. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Just giving you a little details in case people don't know how to decorate these situations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also the Bob Marley, the album that...
There's a Bob Marley... Search Bob Marley ambient on Spotify or whatever.
Yeah,
And there's an
that's
album
our best trip
from
album.
1997.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Was it called like Tours or something?
It's called. I can't remember.
Cannot remember?
I cannot remember right now, but I've listened to it so many times.
I think it's called Tours because I looked at it last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really incredible. It's one of the few albums that you can very comfortably lie down and relax to, but also get up and groove to.
Yeah.
You could.
It's a very hard thing to
It's
find.
so weird.
That
You
pocket.
pointed that out, and now ever since then, I'm like, I got to find other stuff like that, and it's hard to do.
It's hard to find stuff
like
that.
something where you could, like we've done. I remember we did ayahuasca once at the apartment.
Yeah.
And you were shaking your booty the whole time. And I was just meditating, and you had pointed out, you're like, yeah, this music works for both. You could sit there and get into a deep trance.
Yeah.
Or you could be like
Yeah.
totally in flow.
It's super groovy too. Yeah, we did mostly The Dead yesterday before we did Willie, and that was obviously amazing.
You appreciate that?
Oh,
Sometimes I
yeah.
feel bad when I'm playing Grateful Dead too much, like to people, that aren't like complete total deadheads, but it's so good, right?
Yeah, I love it.
I didn't worry about you or Joey as much, but like Bob and Sophia, I'm like, I have no idea what their opinion about this is, but how could they not love it?
No, it's a good vibe. It holds you, and it's a container that stays dynamic and interesting and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I come from listening to so much like far alt jazz where you're like totally lost and not held by anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
Grateful Dead comparatively is like
It's
very
yeah.
easy listening.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, they come
Totally.
back to riffs. Like they
Oh,
might
yeah.
do a 15-minute jam out, but they're coming back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came out to Dark Star, and I was like, well, we're in it right
Yeah.
now.
We were-
yeah. Dark Star was dope.
Dark Star
That
was
was
dope,
really
and
dope.
that was the one I knew it was coming up, and I'm like, I can't wait to do this, but I don't know if this is one to play drums or dance to. And then it came on, and I was like, this is our best drumming, and I looked over at Mare, and I was like, Dark Star's a fucking Brazilian booty shaker. I always thought of Dark Star as like more of just like space.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a groove happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To be honest,
definitely.
as an amateur drummer, that was one of the complicated songs that I was like, "Am I?"
Dude,
I was like, "This one seems a little too."
As an expert musician,
yeah,
people
but-
are like, that song is like,
I was like, I don't know where the beat is.
It's like,
Sleepy
that's a wild one.
Yeah, we hooked up our JBLs. We got 2
yeah.
going. We're gonna get 3 going soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
These JBLs are pretty cool that you can
Those are
link
great.
them and like make something sound fucking incredible.
Yeah,
$200
I was
cheaper.
trying to think what you would possibly use the 100 link.
If you linked up 100 of
You
those,
know, is it just to contact the aliens? Like, if you were to do some sort of drone
You could do some
Show.
experimental like.
speaker
fuckery.
boombox?
it would be like we'll do a space camp this summer, and we'll
Yeah.
say anyone that has a
Bring
JBL
a
speaker,
fucking
bring
JBL.
it.
We're getting
Well, does it have to
JBL
be a certain
crazy.
type of JBL?
I just think anyone that's newer,
Yeah.
they all connect, and
Yeah.
that would be so cool at space camp. Like just surround our tent area.
Totally with music.
I think we should do Space Camp Hawaii edition.
Space camp might be called Space Jam now,
Space
Yeah.
Jam
Space
Hawaii.
Jam.
Space
Ooh,
Jam.
Space Jam is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that great?
isn't it?
And
That's
then
the next
Space
iteration.
Jam could be the like the song that we use. Like it's Space Jam. I don't remember the song. You know it probably. Space Jam. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Michael
Space Jam's
Jordan's
one of the
Space
best
Jam, Looney
movies
Tunes.
ever.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the song to Space Jam?
I don't remember.
I think Joey had it. Space Jam.
No.
I don't
I'm talking about Space Jam. Yeah,
No,
no,
I'm
there
just
it
talking
is.
about
You know what I'm
Space
talking about.
Jam.
Space Jam. We talking about.
Only play like 3 seconds of
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
of
wanna
course.
get
of
demonetized.
Of course. Quad City DJs.
Yeah, that was a movie of the childhood.
But I mean,
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down.
And then this is before we take like.
I barely remember this. This is 6
Joey and I were right.
You stuck it. You gotta
All right,
stop
all
playing
right.
it. Stop playing it.
Sorry, it's so good.
what the fuck? Yo, that's a banger.
Hope
It's a
doesn't
great
get us in
song.
That's a
trouble.
good way. Yeah, everyone shows up and we just
We
play
intro-
that
yeah,
with
just
100
bla-
JBLs.
It's actually a very hype song. It's great.
Oh my god,
right, cool.
that's fucking hilarious.
You guys gonna have a basketball Red Robin tournament?
Well, I think that's another part of it. It's like Space Jam. Everyone's gonna be playing music, but we're also gonna be training.
Space training.
Yeah, space training.
Astronaut training. Where gravity doesn't apply.
Yeah.
Be ready to hoop.
Yeah, a basketball game where gravity. You should throw a little glob in there.
Throw a little sand dust
Get
in here.
some globular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Space Jam, Space Camp, whatever it is, that's very valuable, I think, for people too. Just like any other trip, just like Molly. Like, it just reminds you. We were kind of talking about it on Boys Club yesterday. It just reminds you of just be with like good people, like have a community that's
feeling
outside
held.
your yeah.
You know, I think that's why we can go as far as we do. You know, because if you're not held, that's where the bad trips start coming in, because you can't allow your ego to fully dissolve. So it's holding on, and it's just holding on very wispily to just the worst possible fear responses to things. But when you're around people that make you feel held, all bets are off, and you can go pretty deep.
Also, and you do feel held, and if you don't feel held, that's a whole nother sign. Like, at Space Camp, I put myself into a couple panic attacks, and I was like, it is always me. Like, it's always me. I forgot. It's always me.
And in those moments, you can think it's about a million other things.
Yeah.
It's like, this girl came in here and fucking ruined the vibe, or so-and-so wouldn't stop saying this. Or it's like, nah, it's me. It's my judgments trying to make a last stand, and they're melting away. And, I mean, when we dosed...
People can ruin vibes.
What?
People can ruin.
They 1,000%. I mean, we saw it at Space Camp.
You ruined it.
We saw it.
You
at
blew
Space
it.
You blew it.
You blew it.
We were
we can try and overpower that vibe, but it's not like it's not a vibe that's going on. You know?
It's gone rotten.
No, but it's not the vibe that ruins it. It's your judgment of the vibe that ruins it.
It's hard to transcend.
Like,
sometimes.
That's like, I guess.
Because in my sober body, I would leave the room. You know what I mean? Like at Space Camp, when we were all having the craziest come up we've probably ever had. You know, Cass was out dancing with the people, but like we took it a serious amount of acid, and we were having a real deal come up, and some people started infiltrating the space that it was like a little like we had to adjust every time someone was coming in there.
Yeah.
And they were coming in with completely different vibes because they took a tenth of what we took.
Yeah.
And that's a tough fucking one. That's a tough one, but I feel like Mare was like, she took one for the team that day energetically. I feel like she took on all of the energy of everyone that took the drop of acid, and like you saying, you were going into their bodies, you were seeing through their eyes.
Yeah, no, I think acid is like crazy experience for me in the psychic realms.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I'm not on acid, I'm like hearing like, oh, Benny, like, do you want some food? And like I like tap into like people's voices and stuff, you know. So I take acid, and I've had these experiences.
And then you are Benny.
5 years. Then I'm seeing out of people's eyes. Like that was I've had that twice. That time at Space Camp and one time before. And that's the main thing I'm excited about doing it with groups of people is it's actually really not as comfortable for me around other people because I like don't have psychic barriers. So I just like get into people.
First hour and a half is really tough.
It's really exciting for me because it's like I think a cool spirit. You know, I'm really into I'm totally a psychonaut, so I'm super into those experiences. But it's one of the things I'm most excited about because it's this crazy level of mixology that you don't get. You know, acid breaks down these barriers of your ego where you can become other people, not just like their vibe, but there's
actually be them. You got to be Daniel for a minute. I'm like, damn, that sounds so, like I feel like your opinion of Daniel completely changed since that moment.
1,000% changed. I like lived his life for a second. It was so crazy that whole bathroom trip going in there and like becoming the person that was like what I felt like was like a little not appropriate in the vibe or whatever, and having to get over that because I became them and I was like, all right, whatever, she's doing, you know, they're doing what they need to do. You know, everybody's just doing what they need to do.
Bingo, bongo, butt drugs.
Exactly. So I'm excited about it. It definitely makes me nervous. I feel like I'm, my father called me like an empathetic sponge as a child, and then it's only gotten worse as I've grown up. So
well, that household must have been a fucking goddamn nightmare for you.
Yeah.
You know, being a sensitive.
Yeah. But yeah, acid's really cool and crazy that way. And I've told you guys, like, you can get into flows with like groups of people in acid where your synchronicities in your life ramp up and you get into more of a vortex, and you can start calling things out faster. And acid's cool.
Well, I mean, we had the really uncomfortable trip the first night you met Joey.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know. it was too cold outside and too many people stuck in one place. Like you said, to start this, like being outside, like.
And I bullied Joey to coming down anyway. Like it was all being like
it was just one tab.
Yeah.
So like wasn't quite enough to like totally
shred
take you down. Yeah.
And we showed up late and we were in a terrible mood. And I was like,
Joey, get your ass down here.
I know. I was like, I just had sex 13 times in one night to mend a relationship.
To mend a relationship?
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work, by the way.
I was like, I'm just tired. I don't think I can. All right, let's go trip acid.
Yeah. Well, and like I heard Jerry Garcia say this because he dosed a film crew once that was filming him, and they're like filming him as it's coming up, and they're having a bad trip, and Jerry's just telling them like, "Oh, you're just having a bad trip because you're between these two trucks right now, and you can't see nature and a natural horizon."
Yeah.
And, like, that's why being at the beach is the best.
That's what
place.
I'm saying. That's why, like,
you
when we were
see it, the waves breathe for you if you're in a good place. I had a bad come up in Hawaii once, and then I just started listening to the waves, and they were my breath, and I was like, oh, everything's breathing.
Yeah.
Everything's breathing, like I was saying to you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the word of God,
Yeah.
the primordial rhythm of life.
Yeah.
And if you tap into that, you get more in touch with your godliness. I'd probably come up with a better way of saying that.
Yeah, no, breathing. I realize that I mess up my back like when I hold air in the wrong place in my body. Instead of just letting it in a deep way where it wants to go, it's like you hold it in your back, and that's what causes a crick or a little pinched nerve or something. It's interesting.
The beach is very special. Like my dad always says, like it's very interesting at the beach because for as long as time, basically, you look out over the beach and it's kind of like, or or depending on where you are, it's just like endless. It's like that's the view you see, and you listen to the ocean come back. Like it just hasn't changed over time, and it's like. It's one of the very rare things that are just like is unchanged, and it's just like very.
It's unchanged, but it is always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Like that thing has swept up civilizations, and islands, and societies, and cities, and it will continue to do that, and then it'll take its in breath and come back out, and
Yeah, and looking up at the sky, like obviously clouds are so special, but being able to see the other planets, I think, is humbling and places you in a nice zoomed out way that like maybe the front of your brain doesn't understand, but I think it like kind of places your human feet on earth in a way, I also saw this really cool little CGI of how the tides on the planet follow the moon. It's so cool, and water just kind of like swells to wherever she is on the planet,
Awesome.
I love that idea, and I love like thinking about women being like their moons and their portals,
What's going on with the moon and the bleeding? How is that?
Well, we have a tide in our womb.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like the water in your womb.
That's what's so great. Like
it's crazy.
Is that what it is? It's like the water in your womb?
Yeah, in our bodies.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And like our relationship to like when you get synced up with the moon is like kind of the relationship you have to yourself. It's like this very weird, complex.
I hit new moon on the dot. I was like, Jesus Christ.
And to the point where we were a little nervous because you probably should have gotten your period like a week before that.
Yeah.
And this happens all the fucking time. I'm like, you're going about having a normal day because I think like I'm not pregnant, but I don't know that. I'm just like, what?
Well, because I tell you I'm getting my period, and then I'm like.
Yeah. And then it takes like another week.
Yeah.
To really
Who
come
knows?
down. Yeah. But when you guys are like your healthiest and getting sun and around each other a lot, you're synced to each other and the moon. It's crazy. Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I've been synced to the full cycle, and I've been synced to the new cycle. So I've had different.
It changes.
Yeah, it changes, which I think is super fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like so love all of that stuff because in the exciting time of like AI taking over, where we feel like our intelligence is like diminished in its importance, like we have all these, nature's such a. This is so fucking cliche and pretentious or whatever, but there's such a beautiful, delicate balance.
Yeah.
But it's so sensitive,
mm-hmm.
And it's such a, and we I don't know. We're just drinking hormones in the water.
Well, yeah. Fuck. I was going to say, it's like funny because I was thinking about this is like, as much as we don't want to admit it, like we are animals. Like that is what we are.
Right.
We've so desperately built up in our psychological development that we act a certain way, or we're like, it's just in our subconscious bias that we're better than most animals. It's just subconsciously you're always going to think it, or that you have power or whatever it is. But we are animals at the end of the day, and like that's why these really important fundamental things are so important to the body and like how you feel, because you should be living like that, I guess.
In connection with the planet.
To the primal things.
Yeah.
And When I found out that birds fly because of magnets, like they're, the reason why they like know how to migrate is because of like they're tapped into like more of the magnetism that's going on.
Oh, they're not just paying attention to the weather.
Yeah. No, but the magnetism is like also what's controlling the weather a lot of times. So it's like they have these other senses that they're tapped into, and who knows if it's like just their body just does it, or their
like homing
how
pigeons,
much they're processing. But that really like expanded my mind. Like, God, everything is so sensitive to these subtle planes that we can't see. And I do think one of the most interesting things happening is the animals circling on our planet right now. All the weird things happening with the birds. And yeah.
They know what's going on.
That they're not real?
There's definitely some robot birds out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, have you seen the like little mosquito bots that people have found?
I'm pretty sure one was following Joey and I last night. We went for one last walk.
I knew the CIA
and
was
there was
up
just like this
with
thing
what we were
just
doing.
hanging out perfectly. Remember that?
Wait, this morning
when we went for a walk last night, we both stopped and just watched this bug, and I was like, "That's a CIA drone." It was just suspiciously just like chilling there, not coming towards us or anything, just like chilling, and it would follow us a little bit.
I was so high, I forget that. I remember this morning.
Yeah, well,
pretty soon we're gonna have little micro cameras in our blood. It's not gonna be the microplastic. It's gonna be micro cameras.
Elon's trying to get in your brain right now. He's trying to drill a little hole and get a couple wires in there. It's gonna be a nice. You could imagine you could like. Just hack your brain in a way.
You're psyched about it. I'm nervous.
No, I'm not. I don't. I want.
We have figured out how to do it chemically, and I think it's taken away a lot of the human experience for people. So I think we should think twice before we start getting. We're going to evolve past pharmaceuticals into like that brain hacking.
Imagine if you could just like turn Molly on though. You're just like, all right, everyone's gonna be on Molly for a day. Like,
what is that movie
We
where
think about putting it in the water supply?
Yeah.
What movie?
Remember we watched that movie where they put the like battery pack of different drugs and then they're doing like testing on people? Isn't like Chris?
Oh my God! Yeah, it's a new Netflix movie. It's a wild one. It's called like Eagle's Nest or something like that.
They basically are doing all these
Chris
experiments.
Hemsworth.
Is it real or is it?
It's
a film.
Yeah, but it's cool. It kind of shows.
But they can also like torture people through it and see if
make them have crazy sex
with someone they would never have sex with or something.
I mean,
it's a great premise for a movie.
Crazy enough, the movie that spoke to me most about the future, in obviously sort of a crude way, but that stuck with me for so long, is The Matrix.
The
Matrix is obviously
we take it for granted, but like that movie fucking cracked The Matrix.
Yeah, it did. It literally did. It stuck around so long, and it's literally what's happening. We're gonna be in egg sacs any moment now, and just
we're probably in an egg sac right
now. It's not what's happening; it's already happened.
It's happening.
People are all in their egg sacs. Have you driven past the ticky-tacky houses?
Oh my God, they're in their egg sac. Oh my God. Well, this was awesome. We've done it in an hour and 11. So
a damn pleasure.
It was a damn pleasure. I love you guys.
Love you guys.
That was incredible. This is how we close out our ceremonies. And we say, Aho, Amen, Aye, Whoop, Whoop, Ay, Ay, Ay.